today is having some audio problems of some sort.
I think I figured it out now. Is this working?
Well, you can hear you again if that's what you're asking.
Okay, perfect. What's up, Token Smart? What's up, everybody?
What's up, Andy? How are you today, bud?
Man, since we're going to do some dead air for a second, man, y'all go check out Ashley Isaac 7's Twitter page. I'm going to chill for a second here. First 20 pages are now released. Go read the first 20 pages of Synchronistic. Chill.
That was an excellent shill, my friend. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and drop a link to that in the chat for everyone so that even if we're going to have some audio problems, maybe we can still get some good old-fashioned text going today. All right, so everybody, that's https://witpublishing.com/synchronistic. Go scope it out. The first 20 pages are up, and me and Mr. Andy here have been working on some pretty impressive stuff that you guys are really going to like. The first drop is about ready to go, and well, word on the street is that maybe those are going to be coming out within the next couple of days here. Isn't that right, Andy?
Not only that, for the people that read the first 20 pages and over at Ashley Isaac Stevens' Twitter page, which is at Ashley I Stevens, if you put a message down saying, hey, I read this.
Uh-huh. Are you still there?
Number 4, number 5.
Andy, you're coming in and out, bud. Lindsay's having the same problem. She says it keeps kicking her out and it won't let her join the server. Something is seriously broken here. Oh man. Although you know, in addition to I guess my audio still works. I might as well show something for the good people here, right? What do you think, Jim? Should I tell them about the price of bliss eternal? And there is some feedback. Somebody needs to be muted. Like, is the fire alarm going off at someone's house? Please call 911 if that's the case. Yeah, there's a special story about that one too, because my good friend Eric Stowe, who was going to be our surprise host, in addition, man, you guys, this show is going to be so epic. Like, I'm so sad that we're having all these technical issues because we had not only a surprise guest, but we had a surprise host. And I assure you all that the surprise guest was provided less than 2 hours notice prior to the start of the show. I mean, it was all perfect. It was going to be epic. It was going to go off without a hitch. And so I'm really disappointed about that. But I do want to say that my good friend Mr. Eric Stowe has done an amazing job after reading the story, The Price of Bliss Eternal, on a cover that represents what he thinks about that story. It's gorgeous. And so I think it's probably the best thing I've done. I don't know, like in terms of like literary stuff, in terms of like the content, the actual story, you know, it really came together, man. The editors at bewilderingstories.com really helped a lot with it. And yeah, so I don't know. It's at this point, it's a story that's a collaboration between me and a handful of different people who've kind of read it and reacted to it, and encouraged me for having created it and done covers for it and so on and so forth. So I mean, it's really yeah, it's been a lot of fun. You know, kind of using that to yeah, it's kind of taking over for Bring Back Satire. So what I did, the thing that I'm showing here, is the audiobook version of The Price of Bliss Eternal. And basically right now it's being mastered by a sound guy, and I guess it's going to come out before too terribly long, and we're going to be airdropping that to all the current token holders of The Price of Bliss Eternal. So you know, kind of doing the new thing with The Price of Bliss Eternal for once, instead of with Bring Back Satire. Kind of mixing it up a little bit. Got to keep them guessing, right? No, that was Jenna. Yeah, it really is just very, very, very good. It's literary fiction. We're working on putting a cover together for it, and we're working on doing some things like an audio book potentially for it. And then we're going to release it with all the bells and whistles on WIPP as one of our works. And next week's guest is going to be very, very interesting. I think you guys are going to have a ton of fun with the show next week, assuming that the audio problems at some point get somewhat resolved somehow. I mean, they weren't this bad last week, so maybe they'll be better next week. But Jimmy, I have an idea. Why don't you spill your book? I would love to hear, how the progress is coming with the audiobook creation and so forth. There's a lot of really funny things about language, and some of these guys like Terry Pratchett used to, write things like about fiction that say like you're using lies to tell the truth, and you think about it, and it seems kind of immoral at first because lying is supposedly bad. But at the end of the day, the problem with language is that it can't actually be the thing that it describes, and so you end up in this weird spot where there's like a paradox, because you can't say anything that completely uh, tells the truth, so to speak. So when we communicate, we do it by almost exclusively uh, lying to one another. That is manipulating the attention of the other person to arrange the neurons in their brain in a particular way. Jimmy, are you back? Tell me you're back, brother. There he is. Awesome. No, Lindsay has tried this on other servers and it isn't working there either. Like it's a small miracle that we're able to keep the show going at all. As far as I'm concerned. The curse of Bitcoin Miami. I wonder if we could get Rizzle up here to say a few words. Rizzle, do you want to come talk to us for a little bit, man? Yeah, buddy. How are you today?
Yo, I'm good, dude. I actually just got into Miami and got into the hotel room and popped in to catch the show and got on the Wi-Fi and everything. And it seems like you guys are doing great, crashing the audio while I'm not there, and destroying all of the tech situations. That's how we roll.
That's right. That's right. It's like the Who in a hotel room, right? Like,
Yeah, exactly, man.
Punk rock,
Excited to hear
baby.
about the book airdrops, man. I scooped up a bunch of your books. I'm a big fan of your guys' project, and haven't had a chance to really like dive into them. But I'm stoked that you guys are pushing forward and building on what you guys have already started with the airdrops and everything. This is awesome, man.
Oh man, yeah, yeah, absolutely. And thanks for the prompt to kind of give you guys an update with what's going on here at Whippy. We're breaking off from the Libernet. We're gonna try to make some money. We're gonna try to do the thing where we like raise a little bit of money and like try to kind of go pretty hard in like the paint here, and try to make an impact. And it's gonna be a long and difficult journey. Um, but yeah, we're starting this weekend, man. We're gonna try to build a platform and really start unlocking some new features for you guys, so we can expand the number of people writing to the blockchain.
Dude, it's awesome, man. Now's the time. I feel like you guys are like the premier people. I feel like making headway in this space. And I know I've sent a few people who are interested in doing, books and publishing on NFTs your way. So really excited about what you guys are cooking up, man. And I'm honored that you guys are here on a weekly basis to share it with us. Yo, I saw Eric Stowe's mic pop up. He might be like mashing P or whatever he's doing.
Can you guys legit?
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah,
We did it. We did it.
Oh
And there was
man,
no
The audio
situation.
problems with fire.
my
we did it.
insides are now liquid. Awesome. Can I talk about Happy Man then?
Yeah, dude,
everyone's
jump in
already
and tell us.
killed
It's such
their
a
freaking
cool
books,
book.
and I've been muted. I love listening to you guys. Seriously, it's like we get to hang out with people in front of people. We get double people. Yeah, if anyone hasn't read Happy Man, it took like, because it's a graphic novel, it took just like forever to write, and it's my first book, so it's like not it's not going to be my best book. I have just like so much to learn, but the progress in the book is what the book is about, and it's about seeing the world through this like superhero's eyes and experiencing the world alternatively through symbols and what it meant to me as an author, which is like the symbols would affect me. So like it was like living in a dream. It was just unreal to write. Um, so oh yeah, I'm gonna. I guess I should throw some art in the chat. Um, Probably a good idea. Here,
Yeah, no, it's an art book, man, and it's an art book that breaks boundaries. If you ask me, I think the conceptual side of it is really, really, really kind of cool. I love what you did with it, man. Like, I don't know, like you like break the fourth wall and like can you tell us a little bit more about like how you played with like the perspective of the character and so on?
um, oh man. Well, first of all, I was doing a lot of psychedelics during writing this. So like,
Oh, that's
uh,
fantastic. Yeah.
everybody like I was experiencing this multidimensional perspective that everyone's talking about. Like the book, there's no time traveling in the book, but the book felt like time traveling to write. Some of the sensations that were coming out as I was opening my chakras. And this is crazy because we have like I'm an analog, like a plastic artist and a digital artist. And I noticed when I started drawing with light that I was speaking directly to the light body in me. So like this Happy Man's almost spiritual. I know it's like a hokey sort of like uh thing to talk about because
I,
this
I don't
etheric,
think it's
this light
hokey. I
body.
mean, it's definitely abstract, but man, like I don't know, man. Like Star Wars is hokey. You know, like
Well,
Happy Man feels like a trip into your head to me. You know.
I was totally this yellow asshole for a while. It made me think a lot about life, but like he's this solar consciousness. He has his own planet, and he's this big happy guy. And I did a whole bunch of research on the difference between joy, like real joy and ecstasy, before, so that I could understand, uh, you know, what's the difference and what I'm really what am I really going after. I'm releasing the chakras as NFTs on my OpenSea, and like so I've released 50 of the fifth dimensional chakras because I get to time travel back to now and talk to you guys about that with these chakras, um, using the power of my chakras. And like uh I've released the base chakra, the root chakra, just so I'm here, and then the 55th dimensional chakras because they're kind of infinite. Like the contemplation I did, the philosophical contemplation of what it means to be a human and having a human experience. um like Amish shit. Yeah, that's what's up, Jose. um yeah, it was like
Well, it's
yeah.
it's funny though because the shit that like I did in Bring Back Satires in some ways like a more like strictly literary like approach to like that same problem. It's such a trip. Like I just went and read like a bunch of Aristotle and stuff and tried to figure out like what it means and then I it's funny because I finished the book and then I went and I read Simone de Beauvoir's like Ethics of Ambiguity and started thinking that maybe I was taking this whole happiness enterprise just a little bit too seriously myself. What would you say like your reflections are on Happy Man, like having finished it? Like, did you accomplish what you were going for with it? Like, did you experience the growth that you were looking for?
Yeah, like from the first page of the book, which I'm gonna post so that everybody knows where I'm coming from. So you're not just
Yeah,
seeing
post
like
it away.
the the ridiculously good art that came as a result. Like my whole job during this process was to become a graphic novelist. So like I had to teach myself how to write, and then like the idea is to show writers too how to get better by sticking with their process and following a story. And so it's I don't know if it achieved that. Like you can see, like I added different fonts to it. Like I spent just years and years, like leading up to this articulation, and I wanted to show artists who suck, like I sucked, um, that it does get better, and it's about self clarification. It's about kind of going through the gauntlet and growing in this in your pages, and consistency in the narrative. And so like the like I kind of hate that about this book, that it seems to be all about me. But like when I watch movies, I wonder about the writers. I'm like, this is a reflection of the writer in this way. This is a reflection of the writer in this light, and dealing with our shadow selves versus our external self. So yeah, I think I touched on, like I was able to accomplish it. Now I'm looking bigger. Like I want to uh animate Happy Man.
That's so cool, man.
And
Yeah, like I love that. I love. It's funny. We were on a call about the Pizza Dot book the other day. And do you remember what Florian had to say? What Arugula had to say? He said, I'm a professional artist, so I don't care what it looks like. I only care about the context. And that was just such a fascinating kind of like thing for him to say, that like I've actually kind of been, sitting around meditating on that for the last couple of days. And I think that like the really special thing about Happy Man, um, to me at least, is the way that it supplies its own context. You know, it 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 uh it takes you like kind of out there, right? But like really really super square people probably aren't going to get it the same way that some of us might. But if you are um, in the right sort of headspace to want to explore something new, it seems like a great uh, book to do that with. And I feel like so much of what success is, so much of what makes rock stars into rock stars, or art stars into art stars, is being able to communicate something like that to your audience, who can then value it. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like where the success thing comes from in this art world. What do you think about that?
totally, totally. And I threw some pictures up when you said art star and rock star, because like the articulation of like in the stickability of sticking with your character and starting from something organic that's so personal, uh, being shitty. And like when I started articulating high, like I started getting more attention, like socially. So like I started cellar door, right? Like every artist, like in the basement of, it was like a really nice basement. It was, underground, in a of a residence that I had a residency. I was painting for these people. And then as he evolved, I started evolving into new social cliques. And then like as my character evolved and he was shape shifting, like I started rapping, and then I got pitched by a record deal, or a record label, and I got Mike Tyson saying he likes my art, Baron Davis saying he likes my art, um, and I, I don't know if that answered your question at all.
Yeah, yeah, it's an exercise in the practice of manifestation, wouldn't you say?
Oh, totally.
not just that, but like that's what art is for, right? And that's why the context is so important. It's because it's all about the experience that you make the audience have. And it's hard to like come up with a formula for that. I think a lot of times people who are dissatisfied with like pop art, or like it's like they feel like you just have to do better for it to be worth listening to that much, right? Like there's an example that I've got here. There's an album. Back in the day, I used to be like super into Rancid. Like they were my favorite band. And there's an album they do that's called "Let's Go," and at the very beginning, it's like the best like run of like pump you up songs that like you know what I mean. It just makes you like ready to go. You know, and so like I feel like more flagrantly in some cases than in others, you definitely have these experiences that are being packaged by these various different sorts of artists and then offered to audiences. And I think the bell curve there can be something that us outliers maybe aren't the biggest fans of necessarily. But also if you think about it, like most of the stuff that those normal people who are into like country music or whatever like to do, it kind of comes from the outliers. It's always kind of like a feedback loop that's and so I look to artists like Eric in music or in regular art or like in terms of like writers because these are people who have like a different vision. And so what this enables them to do is what my good friend Marjan Moghadam referred to as the hardest thing in the world to do, which is to be truly weird. And I think that's so cool. It's such a fun way to think about it. Eric, does that sound about like you, bro?
The things that happen to us either make us stranger or stronger. And I've been through some shit, like some serious shit, and I didn't even realize um, so much. Like, n- I mean, I realized that things suck sometimes, but not that it was like consistent. Shit, like this is my life is like a horror show, but it's made me a lot more understanding of how brutal and generous the universe is, and the duality of nature, and that does breed strangeness, and strangeness is authentic, and strangeness breeds innovation, and strangeness is that ability to go forth on the path less taken, where people have they can understand without having to go through it. I forgot what that word is. Vicarious. It allows for people who aren't brave enough to maybe go to Toronto and live on the street to
Yeah, yeah, that sounds right to me. And I do want to interrupt here just for 1 second because I think I see Robbie in the crowd. And if Robbie can unmute and say something, maybe we could still do our improv thing we were going to do at the beginning of the show before all the mic problems. He's unmuted, but I can't hear him.
I was going through the same thing. Robbie, I actually had to turn off the push to talk.
Dun, dun, dun. Speaking of improv, maybe we could get Snacks on the mic. I see him in here too now. Maybe if he could unmute, he could. It's so good to hear your voice.
Got on. It was Discord. Thank you for the server troubles.
Welcome to the show, my friend. How are you today? Aside from the hair wrenching server troubles.
I'm feeling good. I'm planning for Miami. If anybody's gonna be there, go to miami.snacks.xyz and join our Discord server, and we will see you there.
Nice. I think Rizzle was saying that he's actually there. And I think the reason Easy's not hosting with us today to help with the audio problems, whether to help make them better or help make them worse, he's on a plane right now.
I'd love to see you there, Rizzle. If you're already there, I'm flying out of Philly tonight. But yeah.
Well, Snacks, man, you've been through some shit lately, right? Like you helped to buy a bunch of pizza for, I guess, just kind of people who like to eat pizza, like not too long ago, right?
So I stopped by here twice, I guess. I was on Dab Dragon's show one time, and then I came by. We hosted the Whip meetup at the pizza shop. I talked a bit about it, so y'all might already be familiar. But yeah, we did. I think we did great. We raised, and I also have to thank Rizzle and Love Handles for even donating an ETH to the cause. But we did great. We raised, $1 million some, and we managed to spend about 300 grand on pizza on May 22nd all over the world. We gave $625 each to pizzerias on every continent except Antarctica, like 50 plus countries, maybe significantly more than that, actually. And 200 some pizza shops, so many photos. If you go to our Discord and you scroll in the Pizza Day posting channel, and it was just amazing. It was crazy. I'm
Really
still
was.
thankful.
I mean, wow. Like the idea that like an art project that just buys people pizza could be so successful it's just astonishing. And the video from Lesotho was my favorite for some reason. I really enjoyed that one. My dad found that on Twitter independently of anything I did and sent it to me, and I was just like, "Oh, that's so nice." I know some people who helped with that.
There was people who had never tasted pizza before in their life eating free pizza. That's special.
Yeah, and the pizza dough ain't done either, is it? I was on a call yesterday. I think we were talking about a bunch of brainstorming ideas to incentivize people to buy the pizza boxes faster, and we're talking about a bunch of things like a Hollywood blockbuster, and there were a couple of other ones. Future pizza parties. Is there
Yeah,
anything,
this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
This is just the beginning. The goal here is not just to throw, pizza parties all the time, but actually to make pizza free. And that's a long road, maybe, or maybe a short road. I guess we'll see. But, the sort of roadmap we have is that we want to build an independent pizzeria chain. And so that means that we can network all the pizzerias on planet Earth, and we can start to build software solutions for them and cut out big payments. Well, first we'll cut out big delivery because they do a bad job and they exploit restaurants. And we already actually have restaurants reaching out to us. Like one in Brooklyn reached out and they said, we're building a delivery co-op. Can you help us with our software stack? And we're going to do it. We're going to open source it all.
That's so cool. So cool.
First we fight big delivery, then big payments. Then we fight big software. And then we take on big pizza. We outcompete the chains. And then we maybe even, start bargaining with big cheese and big sauce and big wheat and see where it takes us.
That sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. Yeah, there's also going to be a big book coming at some point. We're working on figuring out when that's going to be as well. Robbie, would you like to try to speak again, Broseph?
I want to cut in and just say that I was looking through the pizza book folder and I found that comic book panel and I found myself in it, and it was pretty, I could not believe it. Like I was not expecting it. I was just checking out the book, like, oh, look at this cool stuff. And then I zoom in again. I was like, that's fucking me.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's from our friends at Corporate Comics, Rocky and Nino Mariano. I believe they're English. So they're over on that side of the pond with you, Jim. Yeah, Joe. This is Joe Blank from the Pizza Doll, everybody.
Important thing for all. But I would like to say that the things we are seeing in the world give the context as long as we can see, and so everything we can look at gives also each book gives context, and the things we see in book letters, the visuals, the images gives context, and it totally depends on opinion how you arrange the visual context also. So it's not only I think it's not only the context on a meter layer or something. It's the context of everything we can see, and I think it's very important to care about the things we look at, even if it's written text or this or the balcony I'm looking at the moment, or everything else. So the visuals and the visualized context artists are doing is very important, and the visuals itself gives context, because you can arrange a text or images in many different ways, and so through the ways you arrange them, you give the context in a different way. And so I think it's very important how the things look. I just wanted to say this.
Oh, absolutely.
We can go into this discussion. We can go into the discussion because I know a lot of artists who are doing pure conceptual art, and they are describing their artworks and not even doing their artworks. They're just describing how it would look like. It's really nice, and this also gives a context, because the other things happen in your mind or in your brain or something. But as long as we can look at things, even if it's black text on a white paper or a flower or anything, I don't know, a chair, a text, a book, the visual context is really important, because you can give, and you have to give your message through the visuals you are doing. You can cut this off if you want to, but then it's getting very conceptual and too abstract for me. Yeah.
Spoken like a true master of layout. Yeah.
No, I'm not just saying this because of the layout, but we spoke about an interesting thing because we decided not to. Maybe I can just tell this little story. There were some text inside the Pizza DAO book who had some pictures inside, and then we thought about, or we talked about how, or if we just put other pictures in other texts which don't have pictures, but then we clearly decided that we don't do this because the visuals influence the text for sure. And we wanted to leave the text as pure as the text came, as long as the author doesn't want to give some pictures for themselves. So I think it's very important to think about, because we can see the things. And so everything we see gives context every second.
Everything we see has an impact.
Yeah, and I think this is very important, and we cannot cut this visual context out of anything. But we can close our eyes, which is also really nice. And then no, this is really nice. But and then we can arrange the visuals like we want to, when we close our eyes. But we can also arrange the visuals how we want to when we open our eyes and go around.
Is that an inherent ability of the human mind, or is that a skill that we have to train ourselves to do?
Yeah, I think it can be trained in a way also, but I mean, it's a nice thing to close the eyes and arrange the things how you want to.
Of our sensual allocation happens in our eyes. 70%.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. So the visual context is really important, I think. But it would be interesting.
There's a bunch of parallel processing that happens when you read as well. I don't know if you've ever noticed how science magazines have narrow columns of text, and that's to encourage the reader's brain to focus more thoroughly on the word that's in focus at any given moment as they read through the document. And it really does. It like frees up some RAM or something. And so if you're reading science, that's the way to try to lay it out if you're writing a science paper.
It seems like Robbie's mic is working. I saw that in the chat. Can we
really?
Robbie up here?
Robbie!
Bum 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 bum.
Bow chicka bow wow. I mean, it's green. I still don't hear anything though. A consistent letdown of the day. Yeah, these audio issues are really kind of killing the vibe, aren't they? Oh yeah. Yeah, and I just woke up on the right side of the bed today. I'm just gonna feel great today, no matter what happens. I think I was at the park with my dog earlier, and he was running around all crazy, even though he's like almost 14 years old. Yeah, we're just gonna have a good day today, man. Like that was just how it was gonna be. What's up? Yeah, I'm wearing shorts and a short sleeve t-shirt. Just walking around the house. I don't know. It's probably 80 degrees outside, so it's not hot. At least not for Texas. It's 75 right now. Yeah.
Which our friends around the world can't understand because it's Fahrenheit, which is another form of American gibberish.
It's 140 degrees.
It's 23 here. It's gonna be 28 today in Canada, in like central Canada, which is pretty hot.
Let's see. I think I can switch this over to Celsius. Yeah, so it's 24 here in Lubbock, Texas.
But I was in Britain in January, and it was rainy, but it wasn't so cold. Like I
Try
could get
again.
away with some
Oh.
What was that? No way. No
Oh,
way.
snap.
Oh my god.
No way.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen.
Unbelievable.
Our regular guest, or our special guest, Mr. Indefatigable.eth. Everybody give it up for Robert Pollock.
Woo!
Oh, man. I'm
Unbelievable.
not even going to ask to try that again.
It was actually wonderful. Sandy helped out. I'm listening to you all stream off the cuff. It's really been amazing. It almost feels like the original plan absolutely does not make sense anymore. And I love that. I'm a big
Almost.
mostly because everything that has been modeled so far has been absolutely non-toxic male use of power. Oh, I like this, the way the image looks all glitched. That's so cool. Anyway, yeah.
I learned this thing when I was in sales, and I was taught to be a bully over the phone. I would call someone and I would yell their name at them so that they would know that I was in charge. Toxic or non-toxic?
I think that's part of the interesting label, right? If someone's about to get hit by a car and you yell their name at them, toxic or non-toxic. If you're offering life insurance that will definitely help preserve their legacy, I don't know if it's toxic or not toxic, but I think those are really interesting questions.
It's so funny. So it could depend on what was being sold, I guess, to some extent. If it's something that they really need, then go for it. But get their attention.
Yeah, no, I could think of a bunch of situations where. So Sandy, she pulled me into the private listening, her sound check room, and she's like, "All right, would you mind just pasting me in? Show me your settings." And it was so gentle. It felt like I was like, I wish my doctor visits were like this. Instead, I'm like sitting there in terror. And that comes from like super experience. They say you catch more flies with honey, but I really like to think of it like alignment. And, when you make a person your enemy and it turns into combat, that's sort of a challenge. When you can get people to Dr. Meow Meow, Sandy's so funny. When you can get people on the same page and on the same team and the power is distributed, because the other sort of sales tactics, other than bullying and coercion, are ones to sync people together. Breathe at the same pace of the person, repeat what they just said. All those sales tactics are ways of maybe finding an optimal
mirror their
solution
body language.
Exactly. And those are examples actually of non-toxic behavior. If someone expresses a concern, you validate the concern. Yes, that can be frightening or challenging, and you move on to the next thing. But maybe they don't want your product. Maybe they don't want your thing. And like, if you have built that connection, it's been proven over and over again that the relationships are more valuable than just getting what you want in the moment. Anyway, I'm not here to preach about this stuff, but I think it is interesting that it's constantly playing out. And that's what listening to you all for the past couple of minutes has been. It's like very non-toxic, and I really appreciate it. Yes, Sandy. The idea was, yeah, go ahead, Jim. Yeah, especially when you're emotionally charged. So it's like, it's fine and all to be not a dick when, you know, things are going gravy and you know, you're getting what you want. It's when you feel publicly embarrassed or internally embarrassed or like someone shooting at you or ignoring you, or you feel disrespected in some kind of way. That reaction is the kind of thing that triggers, and people have different triggers, obviously, but I think being aware of those, you know, physical signals in your body, sweaty palms, sweaty armpits, you know, that tension wherever it sits in your throat, and your, you know, your eyes might get a little watery. I've had that happen in online spaces. Somebody gets in a room and they're shooting, and like, I'm not even sure if they know the impact of what it is that they're saying. And like, how do I not be a dick or a bully in response? These are tactics that can be learned, I think. But
I
just
love
being
it.
aware.
Robbie, I
Yeah.
want to introduce a new concept to you. The concept of not ending at 1:30. I think that there's a possibility here that we could actually go ahead and dive in and do the thing that we had planned, because Sandy is saying that we have time if we want to go a bit over. There's no bully me out show, so we don't have to rush. And I do want to go ahead and shout out Sandy, Rizzle, Snacks, all of the people who have helped us sort of manage the disaster today, and turn this into an awesome show and have a ton of fun anyway. I don't know. What do you think, Robbie? Would you like to
Yes. And why don't we put a pin in it for now? Because it could get preachy, and I don't want to be preachy. I want to be interactive. We'll see what our listeners, who are all awesome and like tuning in and hanging in with us here, like, it's so cool. Let's see what they think. And let's
shout out the
curious about
listeners too while we're
Andy. I mean, all of you awesome token smarties, like probably the most amazing combination. I'm not going to overly flatter them.
Yeah, pushing through the difficult technical stuff here today. What do you guys think? Shoot us a thumbs up if you are into going into the improv and doing the thing that we were planning to do for you guys. That sounds like a winner for me. Yeah, we got It's Carolina shouting out, do it. All right, Robbie. But I think we've got the go ahead.
All right, cool. Yeah. All right. So everyone at your keyboard or thumbs ready. I think we're gonna like brainstorm a scenario together. We heard one awesome one, phone sales. I don't know. You might want to call your local representative. You might be negotiating something with your boss or with
wait, Robbie.
A friend.
Is this what I'm doing to you right now? Is this toxic? Interrupting you?
No, not necessarily.
Oh, okay. Because
I mean,
heard that high status.
So there's
interrupt
just
people, and it's like a status move.
It can.
Well, what
be
about when I do it to Eric? Is that something?
The chain of toxicity? So one of the things that we males often do is interrupt people at will. We often do it without intent to cause harm, but the impact can be, cumulatively harmful. And I mean, Lord, I'm thinking of like all the ways that being the biggest person in the room or the one that people are paying attention to, and there's many ways to do it even without being loud or interjecting. I'm at a bar, I'll buy a round for everybody, and I'll do it subtly. So I'm using that power to gain the attention, which is pretty much the same thing as interrupting. or various other tactics that we do. And the thing is that we do it for a reason. We have a purpose, often to do it that serves ourselves.
Yeah,
But
I would go so far as to say that the heart of communication involves the direction of the attention of the subject to whom the communication is intended. What would you say to that? Does that sound right?
that's a lot of words, Dylan. Yes, I agree. But I often feel like, we're getting good stuff in the chat, by the way. We're getting selling life insurance. Anything on the phone from Sandy. Once I got hijacked from some people who wanted to send me over to a resort, but at the end I received 2 tickets for the zoo. Jose. There's a lot of like pushy sales tactics. We can often identify those situations outside in like sort of impersonal context. Where it's harder is in personal contexts, like you and a roommate are, sharing the chores, and now you have to figure out how to tell your roommate that they're not pulling their weight, or they owe you some of the back rent, or like some kind of thing like that, but you already had an agreement or some kind of thing like that. There's tons of like, it's so much harder, or with a significant other of some sort, tons of problems arise that you don't even realize you're bullying.
Back when
Tell me about grad school,
man. We took a class called Dialogue and Discourse, and the idea was that we wanted to learn how to be good interlocutors. And one of the principles in the textbook was that it was bad manners not to interrupt somebody if you had something that was really on par with what they said. And I thought it was really funny because there was one guy in the class who always interrupted everybody and did it way too much. And it became just like this awful behavior. And by the end of the class, we all kind of like hated this guy. But it was like, I don't know. There was kind of like a line there, and you had to like kind of, I think the trick was to modulate like whether what you were saying was like germane to what the other person was saying, or like if you were interrupting them where you do it for like a relevant reason. And so it's one of these things where you got to kind of fine tune it just a little bit, or something like that, right?
There are definitely no general rules of thumb to how to behave. I think one of the really cool things that you brought up though is the idea of being aware that what your intent is may not be having the impact that you think it is. I mean, so one of the things, nothing pisses off people worse than that feeling of raw confusion when somebody blames you for a thing that you absolutely had no intent. Like, I wasn't trying to shit on you, so-and-so. Why would you say that I was? That kind of thing. And one of the main tactics that we can use to be aware of that is like shifting our perspective from one of victim into one of curiosity. And not to get too like Buddhist on it, but like it allows you to maintain your poise and have openness to understanding the other person's perspective. And when it comes to interjecting, like Eric mentioned earlier, like we use our eyes all the time, and not everybody has the same level of vision, but for the majority of people, when we're communicating, we're nodding, we're breathing in deeply. There's a bunch of acting exercises known as using the Meisner technique, where I'll get a room full of people and we'll all converge on the center. We're in a circle. We'll converge together to the center without saying a word. And then we'll all expand without saying the word. As you can imagine, the first time we do this exercise, it is a little bit bumpy and chaotic and very lumpy circle that forms. What happens is after 2 or 3 times, people are really paying attention to all the nonverbal cues. And some people feel inspired to be like the leader. I'm going to be the person who decides when this circle goes in. You can really identify them very quickly. Like they are the one that drives the thing. And then as a facilitator, I often identify that. What's that need to be the person who pushes the circle in, versus the weird, wonky no space of listening to the group with your eyes and your body, and all converging in. And that, I think that's the really cool space. Yeah, Sandy, that is all those techniques are like used really to help team building, but I think they're also really good in interpersonal spaces where you're coming from a listening and curiosity perspective versus that I need to win. All right. I think we're almost ready for a scenario too.
Do you want to have Eric try to sell Jimmy some phone insurance or some life insurance over the phone? It's so funny that you mentioned the visual cues.
And so that is problematic because you cannot enforce your rights to a piece of a copyrighted work unless you own the rights, unless they're registered. So copyright exists the moment something is fixed, an idea is fixed in a tangible medium of expression. That's a copyright, but it's not registered. You cannot enforce it. So I caution artists who are going to go and put some.
I went ahead and had to mute Natalie.
What was that?
What do you think? Was that a big move or not?
That you're not going to warn him how you're going to act. And everyone who's listening right now, your job is to identify any of these negative or positive behaviors that you can see in the image that I dropped. So there may be motivating, convincing, coercing. There may be other higher level things that are happening in the thing, but probably since it's two people, it'll be in that purple interpersonal category. And we can see what happens. Feel free to act however feels natural. The trick is that the stakes have to be high for you. So when we set up the scenario, the stakes need to be high for both Eric's character and for your character. All right, if we're ready to go, I would love to see. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna shut up now.
Okay, I guess I'm going to use the stock sales tone. This is completely unrehearsed, by the way, everyone. All right.
Improvisation.
And I want to like profess it. It is a numbers game. Like, you call so many people a day and someone's going to say yes. But ring, ring. Ring, ring. Jim. Hey, Jim.
Hi, this is Jim's cousin, Bill. Can I help you?
Bill, Eric Doe calling.
Hi, Eric. What's this regarding?
Bill, first of all, we've never met. So
right.
Don't try to rack your brain trying to figure out who I am.
Yeah. So can I help you?
Bill, the reason I'm calling is I work with a couple of guys in your building.
Do you have a message for Jim, or can I help you in some way? Like, I don't understand.
Sure, I'll call back.
Jim, some guy named Eric is calling for you. He works in the building or something. All right.
Jim, Eric Doe calling. I would have hung up at this point. I would have just straight up been like, these people are not worth my time. Like that, and that's the end of that conversation for real. I mean, like, this is dumb.
I'm going to continue. I'm going to continue. But now I am Jim.
Oh,
I
this
am your
is
cousin.
Eric's supervisor. He's not allowed to get off the call. Eric,
So
you're not allowed to get off the call. I need you to keep selling
that's
these people
awesome.
stuff.
Jim, the reason I called is I work in the building. What
This
I
is
do,
scary, Jim.
I come into the office. What I do is I come into the office and I sell insurance. Jim, I was wondering if the next time I'm in the building, if you're okay to take 5 or 6 minutes, sit down, see if there's anything I might be able to help you with as well. Jim, we've never met. Are you still trying to rack your brain? Stop trying to rack your brain. It's not going to work. Do you have your calendar in front of you?
Simple question, Jim.
Who's that? How many people are on this call?
Yeah. I don't
Rob,
like
your
what's
supervisor.
happening. I don't like what's happening, Jim.
I'm scared.
I don't like that these people
Honestly,
know about
I'm
your
not
life.
super happy with this either. I'm glad I chose to listen into this call because I feel like Eric talks really slow.
We're gonna put a pin in it
we're
right
gonna
there.
have a word with that.
Thank you all performers. Okay. Round of applause for everybody. That was amazing. I would suggest 2 spin-offs and we box them really quick. 1 minute, really high stakes, if you don't mind. So the supervisor and Eric, I'm really interested in that. The stakes are really high. Supervisor, you want to make money, and Eric, you want to keep your job. So that's a really good one to play out. And then Bill and Jim are going to have a conversation about, what happened on the call and why Jim keeps getting calls like this and entertains them. All right. So first we'll start with the conversation that happens between the supervisor. If that's all right with everybody, I hope everybody's enjoying this. I am. And then we'll identify Lindsay with an E. Will identify the toxic behaviors or the abuses of power in both directions. Here we go. All right. Supervisor and Eric, are you ready? And I want you to both to remember the stakes are super high. You have to feed your family. You have to, get out of debt that you owe the mafia. You need whatever you need here. So it's not a game. All right, let's get it.
Wait.
Eric, don't hang up. Don't hang up, Mr. Stowe. Don't hang up. Are you there?
This feels like the opposite of my training.
Exactly what I wanted to talk to you about. It's the opposite of your training. We're supposed to talk fast. We're salespeople, goddammit. What are you doing with your time?
The stakes are so high. I feel like if I talk slower to clients, they will think that my words are more precise and important.
No. Now you're doing it to me. Just talk like a normal human.
I don't know how to do that because
you're a top salesperson, Eric.
Quote,
you're the best we've got,
world.
and you're not performing anymore. We need you to step up.
I came to work today, didn't I, Dad? I mean, sir,
I'm not your father.
there's something that's happening.
Well, what is it? Go on.
I want to pause right there. Okay, excellent. All right.
That was
There were
fun.
actually many, many more positive examples from there. I'm going to drop the image in, and I'm tipping out anybody who can identify any positive use of power from the purple part on the chart. Let's get it. There's a little bit of bullying. Yep.
I feel like I'm in HR right now.
Universal
Universal HR.
This is what we all wanted to avoid, harassing.
Eric,
Yeah.
Eric, you've died, and this is purgatory. We'll be on this call for the rest of eternity.
Like, not even kidding. This is my nightmare. But for real.
This is I will point out one thing that I really liked. Eric, you kept saying "I feel," like, which is an absolute gem of a positive tactic. Saying "I feel like this is a," and like you almost couldn't go into toxicity, like in your role, and Dylan's supervisor was also really awesome. All right, we're gonna put a pin in that. I think Sandy had a good one, and Timmy also. Cam Wolf said harass, which is a good one. All right, we're gonna run one more, and this is the close family one between Bill and Jim, who apparently live together in the same flat and may have problems that we discover. So we're gonna yes and. All right. Yes, Jim, I will start like you always make me do. I just don't understand why you always entertain these people, why you're always happy to spend the little money we have. Rent is due. Like, why? There you go. There you go. There you go. Crying again. Jim, are you better now or are you not? Like, that was the past. Get the fuck over it, right? We're living here and now. Not everybody who calls wants to hear your fucking sob story from 2010. Like, let's get the fuck over it. Yeah, I was by your side the whole time. And that wasn't easy, Jim. Who brought you the snacks because the food was shit? Who brought you, who tried to help you stay with your girl, but how that went. Remember what you did there? Remember how you blew that up? Yeah, Jim. Jim. I'm on your side, Jim. I'm on your side, Jim. I want you to be better. I want you to get over it. I want you to move on with your life. I want you to stop, feeling sorry for yourself, man up. Come on. All right, we'll stop it there. Wow.
Oh, it's fantastic. Dear God, I had so much sympathy for Jim's character. My God.
Wow, that was rough. That was rough. I'm so sorry, Jim. Well, my character was using a lot more passive techniques with lots of plausible deniability, right? It's all in your best interest. I'm looking out for you. It's tough love and that kind of thing. And what we find is that most of the toxicity always comes with an out clause, like a way of explaining it away. It's, oh, I was just joking, or oh, I was just, whatever. And I'm not even sure what I wanted out of it, except for maybe you to make more money and make my life easier or something. I don't know exactly. Gaslighting. Yeah. Yeah, that's almost like an archetype. That's really interesting. I'm so grateful everybody went on this little improv adventure. It's so cool. Thank you everybody for listening. It can sometimes be hard to hear. I hope there weren't any triggers or anything, but that was really cool.
So much fun, guys. That was awesome.
I'm wondering if maybe we have room for one or two more if someone has an idea of a setup, and then we can figure out who the characters are. Eric and Dylan, really nice. Dylan, you had the voice on the last one, which was really, really kind of interesting. Very cool. It's a lot to ask of a philosopher to improv.
Oh, maybe we could get Lindsay with an E and Andy to act out the next one. Lindsay can't talk.
Lindsay asks if it's all calls or what's the general length it needs to be. I think it just needs to be a situation that contains a sort of conflict. I love the Bitcoin recession suggestion by Phil. I know that in my personal life, when my balance goes down and it looks like my future is changing for my wife, that is a big deal. And I'm like, no,
the dips will age you, they say.
We'll ride the dips. And she's like, we're trying to buy a house, damn it. So I that's interesting. But again, the stakes really have to be high, and you kind of really have to feel the stakes as you have the discussion, because that's where the natural good stuff comes out. I would love to hear Jim and Dylan, and it might tap into some real stuff, but it's okay. It's a supportive room. Everybody's here, witnessing your pain, so that's comfortable. That's a joke. Why don't we do that? Jim is now Dylan's aging parent. Dylan, we'll change your name. Maybe just still having recovered from a horrible illness, but now you're in desperate need of finances. And Dylan, you've invested heavily in cryptocurrencies, and
and I just got liquidated. Can I have just gotten liquidated?
Your wallet might have just disappeared.
Okay, it was hacked or something.
Something happened, and you have very little crypto left.
All right.
And
So yeah, this will be fun. British. I want to do the.
and scene action.
Right, Grandpa. What are you trying to tell me? What you want, Grandpa? It's not the cancer, is it? The cancer hasn't come back, has it? Speak up, grandfather. Ah, grandfather. I've got. Ah, uh, all right, right. I've got some news for you. I've yes, as you know, I've invested the money that you gave me, and I must report that the news that we've had here is well, it's not the fucking best now, is it? Uh, I'm trying to tell you, grandfather. I've lost most of your money. We went up and we were doing great, and I kept using the leverage, and I missed the top, and when we started to become liquidated, I tried to sell, and my application on the telephone, what was broken, and it wouldn't let me sell. Taxes, taxes. Are you mad, grandfather? You're having one of your spells again. Right. I'm calling 911 because we are in Texas. Got to get the ambulance to your house. You told me you were only giving me money that you can afford to leave. What is this shit? You said you had you said you had 10 times more money than that in your bank account. You only quit? What have you done? You gave me all your money? That was all the money you had? What are we going to do, Granddad?
Ooh. And scene. Thank you both. That was that. I think the sarcasm at the end is just really poignant for me because that's usually how people communicate, right? It's with the well done. Thank you very much for screwing me over, right? Bravo. Good solution. What's interesting too is to think about how that would flip into a positive situation where two people who might not want to admit the reality, then come to grips with it, and then figure out a plan to deal with it. I like that. That was a possibility. Right.
I was trying to
I
be
felt
as
it.
toxic as I could, but I just kept diffusing attention. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm not a very good actor, y'all. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's first of all, we all want to avoid that at all costs. It's the trick is like maybe it helps to have concrete stakes. So if Grandpa could pull the plug on another thing that has its link to your livelihood, all of a sudden, tons of other tools are going to come out in your tool belt. Like, for example, you're going to flatter him. You're going to try to manipulate him. You're going to praise him and do all kinds of things that will get you what you want. You'll exercise power if you had clarity on what you have to lose. I think maybe our next scenario will make it more clear if we do another scenario. I don't know how much time. We're definitely over time. Sorry, y'all. But that was a really good example.
Yeah, try to talk, Lindsay. Lindsay.
Can you hear
There
me?
she is. Yes,
Wait, can you hear me?
We
Wait.
can.
Oh my gosh, you can actually hear
Can
me
you hear
now.
me? Yes, you can.
Holy shit. Oh my gosh, this is finally working now. That took so long. Oh my gosh, with the Discord servers down and everything too. Wow. Wow, I'm shocked that worked. I thought I was going to be screaming into the ether like curse words again like yesterday.
I mean, you still are. It's just so we can hear
I
you
mean,
now.
well, yeah, no, but like voice-wise. But like,
I'm like walking
yeah, I
around in
can
like an empty
talk.
house, like laughing to myself and like holding my cell phone in one hand. Like, none of this is normal.
Oh, I do that all the time at things. That's totally normal.
Well, how are
But
you today, Lindsay?
well, slightly better now after yelling at the Discord account on Twitter for a while. Telling them that just shove something up Wumpus's rumpus and things like that. Some fun
Well, that
things like
sounds
that.
really toxic. All
It,
right.
it was, yeah, exactly. I mean, I just don't get why they act like they're 6-year-olds that work there and they talk in like whimsical, like, you know, they're like, our elves are fixing things. And like,
Well, I have an idea. For our final sketch, maybe Andy could be the Twitter people, and you could be yourself, and we could just give it a quick 1 minute. You know,
the
give it the old
Discord
heave
people.
ho, right, as they say.
I mean, I think I got it all up, but sure, but it'd be the Discord people, not the Twitter people. It was just the only medium I can message them because like
Yeah.
everything was down.
Let's make Andy represent the Discord people then. Yeah. Andy, come on up here, brother.
What's going on, y'all?
Hey.
Oh, we're just hearing your lovely voice. Woo! All right, Robbie, do you want to start him off?
Oh wow. Okay. I really want to pull it from I really want to pull from the audience if possible. Anyone has any of this been?
I got something.
Oh wow, Andy, I love it. I love it.
Where's she been? Who was she with? Like I want to, like, you know, I'm kind of getting into her private space and like really jealous.
Oh, like wait, like the boyfriend, like has like that type of thing, like, but like
kind of
yeah, that
where you been? I want.
Are we all okay with that?
And you're like, dude, like almost like
I'm perfectly
tracking
fine
your
with that.
phone, like type thing. Oh yeah, no, that's actually an interesting one.
Lindsay, are you okay with that? That's
yeah.
All right.
You're gonna have to really ramp up the toxicity, okay?
Which of us?
No, or let's be very specific. Because you can be the wounded jealous and be being gaslit by the person you're jealous of.
Wait, how about like, as in like, I was like, say, out hanging out with friends, and like, because I mean, this is solely a situation that happens, and then like, you know, like the guy is like, oh my god, where have you been? Oh, were you really there? I bet you weren't there. That type of thing.
That sounds toxic as hell. What's wrong with that?
That's like a normal thing. I feel like that's like an average, like toxic thing. Like,
and Andy,
and it's like, and
yeah.
I'm kind of like the sensitive, like I need more
yeah, no, it's like the needy, where you like need the neediness aspect of it, but it comes across as being, what's it called? Sorry, I'm walking back inside because it's windy.
Clingy.
What? What'd you say, Dylan?
I said he should be clingy.
Exactly. It's like clingy, but it starts to come across like almost like, oh my gosh, you're crazy.
I'm
All right.
excited. This is a go. Does anyone from the audience want to add any details?
Wait, it just cut out. What?
Does anyone want to add any details that will spice this
Yeah,
up?
maybe Natalie would like to suggest something, throw something in the story. She's getting all yikes over here.
I'm happy to live GIF the story.
Oh, live GIFing, yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say the
GIF
GIFs are making me happy.
Oh, the mother lives with them. All right.
Yes, nice.
Oh, wait, mother, wait, so we live together? And the mother lives with us. Whose mother is it?
Andy is addicted to porn.
Yes, it's my mother.
So it's your mother. Okay, so yeah, okay, that makes
It's
sense.
my mother, and she's the one. And she's been the one talking to me about
Yeah,
kind of
and
these
she's
issues
in
and
your
how I
mind.
did it.
Yes, this totally makes sense. An orange
You
Fanta.
live in a tiny home.
Okay. Thanks, Eric.
So she
Thank you.
hates
Oh my
me.
God, those
All
are so
right,
many good
yeah.
things.
So
Can
the
we
mom
mute
hates
Eric?
me.
All right, we're going in 3, 2, 1, action.
I didn't hear anything. How are we starting this?
Where's my son? Not today,
Wait, is he not home?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can
I
you
can
hear me?
hear you.
He was under the bed. Okay, good. I mean, I'm glad, Lindsay, that you got home. Do you realize how long you've been
Yeah,
gone?
I told you I was gonna be out with my friends, and then I came back, and I mean, it's really not much. Not really sure why you have to ask all these questions when I told you what I was already doing.
Did you get my text at least?
I can't. Can maybe you talk like somewhere away from your mother, possibly, because I can't hear you.
No. She's been she wanted to say something.
I'm not really sure what she's saying,
Look,
but I think it's me.
Mom, no, Mom, go to the bathroom, Mom, and just hang out in the bathroom for a little bit.
Is your mother okay?
She's just been talking and telling me about some of the things,
She's been telling you what?
She's just been talking about the way you treat me and that she feels like maybe I should be treated better.
Okay, and what specifically was she saying, and what ways was I treat you so badly?
Well, she just feels like maybe, you kind of go out with your friends a good bit and,
I don't. That was the last thing I heard.
You don't talk about, maybe like sending me message.
But so I I go out with my friends maybe once a week because I have friends and it would be great. I try and encourage you to even go out and hang out with some of your friends. But that's your decision not to. But at the same time,
my mom is
my mom's one of my best friends. But it also to get out of the house and go outside maybe and do some things like.
I just felt like maybe, when you heard me when I said, that, hey, you said, I'm going to go out. And I said, I guess that's cool. And then you just took off without asking me if I really.
I heard you say that's cool. And when someone says that's cool, even if they put I guess in front of it, I thought that we had a relationship that you could, not have to say things in such a cryptic way and instead could actually just say it. I don't know if I'm supposed to be being more toxic or actually caring also, by the way.
No, you should. This is definitely dude, I need to get away from this guy and his
mother. Yeah, but I don't, FYI, side note, I don't know which one I'm supposed to be doing, but okay, keep going.
I need to, she's out there sleeping around on you, Andy.
Did your mom call me a whore?
She's gonna tear you up, Andy. She's gonna ruin your heart. She's a Black Widow, Andy.
I'm a Black Widow. Well, now she's just bringing up some hurtful stuff. Hey, now she's just really just going after look points. But I thought we had a relationship where at least we could be, talk about things. And, for you to have to say things like, well, I feel like this, and, just seems really like that's not good communication. And we've talked about this, and you need to say how you feel, or else things like this happen. And then your mom starts yelling and then calls me a black widow and brings up some her shit. And we get into a fight.
Is that good, Robbie?
I feel like that was a weird ending to that.
That was good.
the
That was interesting. But I think we're running up against the stakes issue again. So I'm gonna pause it, and then we're gonna jump right back in the scene. But we're gonna have a better understanding of our stakes. Lindsay is the primary breadwinner, but has nowhere to live, and it's the dead of winter in a remote area.
Is
So
it
Lindsay,
weird that I've experienced this before? Actually, not in a
I'm
weird
so
way.
that's
Almost.
what I was worried. That's what I was worried about. Because these can
Well,
be.
no, it's interesting though, but just because it's like actually a situation that's super, especially in New York, because of like apartments and
Yes.
everyone moves in with each other.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
That's why I'm like,
Yes.
I don't mind it. It's a good thing to talk about, honestly.
And
more people should talk about it.
exactly. And Andy, your stakes need to be higher as well. So I'm not sure what would make you need Lindsay so much, other than the fact that maybe she.
I got it.
Yeah, is she the breadwinner?
Like, it's the breadwinner, and I don't have a job. I take care of my mother, so my full-time job is making sure that I take care of her and make her food and clean the house. So I have no way to make money, but my love and my support of my mom is my money and what makes me like the breadwinner.
Oh, that's
that
really
makes
sweet.
it
All right.
hard.
Right, but Lindsay,
Yeah, exactly.
is that your responsibility? Yeah. All right, so we're going to jump right back in the scene, and we're going to box it at 1 minute, and let's really get what we want. Lindsay, you need to be secure in your housing and your freedom, and Andy, you need to keep Lindsay around so you can take care of your mom. And action.
I just don't think you get it. I mean, I know that you need your friendships and to go out, but who do I have to go to? I'm here all day taking care of my mom, being here for her, not being able to get out or do anything because she needs me. And yet, when you come home, you don't even realize the pain.
It just cut out.
And
Hello.
just
It just cut out on you right when you said the pain. Sorry.
it's all about the pain and missing you and needing you here for support of me.
I understand that entirely, and I've even offered to say that if you wanted to go, have fun and go do something for a night, I would happily take care of your mom, and I happily, don't mind taking care of her at the certain times when, like it's not the whole thing, but I care about you, and so I care about her, and I understand how hard it's for you. But at the same time, like I've tried to give you, various types of situations where you could possibly, have that freedom and, little time to get away, and then maybe could not have to be so hard on me about it. But it's almost like you don't want to think beyond what, the current problem and not try and fix it kind of thing. Because your mom is great. She's lovely. I love my mom as well. Your mom lives in our house though. And so, I get it. You can't work in all of these, and it's like, you're dealing with a lot. It's really, really, really horrible, honestly, and no one should have to. But also, there are ways to make it better than it is right now. And I feel like you're not listening to those solutions.
I just, it's just wondered sometimes with the empathy that I have, when I think about my mom and everything, and then you're out with your friends and you don't even take the time to answer a text and say, hey, I miss you or anything. I wonder sometimes if you think about me.
Well, when I reply to the text, but then I get 20 more texts is the whole problem. And if you're, trying to enjoy that moment out, and like I said, I'm out maybe once a week, maybe. And so when I'm out, trying to enjoy that time, and I get one text and I reply happily because I do miss you. I do want to let you know those things, but also I'm going to see you as soon as I get back home. And then because you bombard me with 20 bajillion more texts, and then it's like, are you there? Why aren't you answering? And it just becomes, there's no point to answer because no matter what I say. I didn't hear that, but it sounded like I don't know.
Let's pause it
Well,
right
and also
there.
your
Thank
mom's
you.
screaming at me.
Now that got Lindsay active. The mob. That's where the real beef would come out.
It really is though, because that's kind of the root of a lot of it. I mean, yeah, and your mom yelling at me really doesn't help the situation. I probably think, as much as I know she loves you, and that's why she's upset and thinks certain things, but she also is very vocal about them, and it help our relationship personally. And yeah.
Oh my God, that was so much fun, you guys. What?
This is serious.
Oh man, what
We
a
should do,
wonderful
like,
world.
every show.
That's so weird. Yeah, like you said, how oh, you didn't want things to be too real to people, but no, I literally had a situation and I just kind of pieced that together while talking, which was even weirder because I kind of had forgotten because it was a while ago. But it's someone that was taking care of their mom, actually, which is kind of crazy.
If my neighbors heard me, they're going to come talk to me later and see if I need to talk to anybody.
Oh, my neighbors think I'm either depressed or crazy, and I'm so used to it. I'm waiting for they don't even want to knock on my door to be like, "Are you okay?" I think they've just decided that one day I don't know, might not be. But
I gotta keep myself from going out in the backyard whenever I'm talking on the phone. Who knows what my neighbors think?
I go on my patio now, but sometimes it's even weird hours, as in it'll be 2 or 3 in the morning because it's different time zones, and I'll be saying really crazy, strange things, dying laughing, and everyone in basically probably 50 to 100 apartments can hear me, just because I face a bunch of them, and I just wonder how many of them are this girl is so fucking what the hell, what is she doing now?
Is any of that pizza dough related?
What?
Man. I said when I do that at the park, it's usually pizza dough related. The other day we were casting for a wish list of celebrities to star in the Pizza Dough Hollywood blockbuster, and I was like, I want to be played by James Franco.
I mean, it's not that weird. I mean, I feel my normal conversations though in life tend to be very not that, I guess, normal compared to those. So my threshold for they're at least knowing what sounds like oh, okay, that's or when people walk by, they're like, what the heck type of thing is I have no idea. Because I realized the other day I was seeing someone and I was like, yeah, I found this metal band that would want to do the financial report video thing, but they don't have a guitarist. They're a metal band with a violinist. And someone just stopped and stared at me in the street, literally, and I was like, but it's true.
That's fantastic. Well, hey, on that note, Andy, are you still in the house, my brother? It's funny because this might be the one thing that's gone according to plan so far today. If you guys get to kind of get on the last 10 minutes and talk about the cipher that you, Lindsay, were able to solve.
Oh yeah, I'm now that my brain has been fried between frustration / these our workshops of what is it, HR workshops. Honestly, whoever's and now I'm getting text messages about
human relations.
No, seriously, whoever however this started, they need to start their own virtual HR thing. Where you literally don't have to work at the company. You just it's just oh, I have a problem with this person, and then you guys both go talk it out. It's talk therapy.
The HR down.
There you go. But I feel that the other person might not want to come. And, it's kind of like couples therapy. I don't think the other person would want to show up if one person wants to. But you tokenize it. There you go, and give them incentive. That's how you get them to go.
Nothing in life ever prepared me for this.
I mean, I didn't expect to come into all of a sudden the voice chat and it be HR simulation. So Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Why don't you ask her about it, Jim? I mean, it looks like Andy may not unmute, and I don't know. I think it's a
Oh
shame
yeah.
if we don't
I
keep at
watched I
least one
watched
part
those
of the
lovely
plan.
YouTube videos. I
Oh
watched
man,
those.
okay. I didn't realize it was on mute.
There he is.
Yeah, so let's go on here. Like basically, if anybody goes on Ashley Isaac Stevens on the Twitter page, which is at Ashley I Stevens, if you look at the pinned comment on the top, it does the first puzzle. It talks about the book and how there's going to be puzzles and riddles, and I'm going to break it into segments. And I released this first puzzle, and I even showed it to a guy that does ciphers for a living and told him, you're going to either get it or you're not. If there's no in between. And so he basically looked at it and he was like, yeah, I guess I know exactly what you mean, because he had no idea what it is. So I am looking really forward to, and other people actually were curious about how she broke this cipher. And if you go watch this video and what she saw, you're going to be like, how in the world did she figure it out? So I want to hear how Lindsay even started.
You just cut out again, but I think the
Hey.
end of the question. Sorry, my service is really bad. But basically, so I saw the video, and I'd seen the other video as well, and I noticed the similarities. This is how it started off. You know, where the grayish part of it, where it says like synchronic, or that's what. Yeah, that's in the beginning, but it was blurred out on this one. So I was like, okay, that's noticeable enough to like make a note of that. But that picture at the end, you know, obviously was like the big clue thing. And so I was looking at it and I was like, okay, it's likely has to do with something, you know, that's written above it. But like, what is that? Like, you know, I have no fucking clue what this is. Like, I know nothing about like, you know, different, what is it called, scripts and all of those things. And I was like, well, maybe it's like a mirror thing. I literally like had a mirror by me and I like held it up above it to be like, maybe like I can read it then. I was like, no, because like it looked like L's and sevens backwards is why I was started thinking that. And I was like, maybe it's like a split thing. And I was like getting frustrated. So I went on my computer and I screenshotted actually that part and then cut the text or that script part out of it and was like rotating it around and messing with it just to see if it was something that simple, which I doubted it was, but like you never know. And then finally I was like, you know what, like, okay, like this is starting to like bother me now. I really want to figure this out, and did a Google image search of both versions, like one that was inverted and one that was regular. And the Google image search did not actually tell me really anything that helpful other than things I knew, which was that it was script and it was of something that I did not know. And so then I just kept, so I was like, you know what, screw it. Like, I'm just gonna keep scrolling and see if anything kind of, because there were certain things where I was like, no, well, kind of, yeah, well, maybe if it was like in a different like typography, but like type thing. And then went down, I found one of them I clicked on was from a website actually that had basically cataloged all of this stuff about language from scripts to like, and like, but one of the charts actually, even I noticed before this, was like a chart that was on different languages, but it was like magical languages, like as in like Elvish and like this and like like all the Tolkien like things. And I was just like, okay. And so that kind of put that idea into it, that like, oh, like maybe it's something of that sort, but like, you know, I still have no freaking clue of any of this. So I sat on the site and was just clicking through kind of, I have to find the website and it would take me a while, but once I do, I'll post it to somewhere. I'll send it to Dylan or Andy or someone. But like, basically I sat there for like a good hour and a half being like, I'm not gonna find it here, but like, I really, really want to figure this out. Like, this is really driving me nuts. And I feel like that somehow I could find some information that would help this. And so finally found underneath like some really, you know, random like subsection of a subsection that had something about languages that they weren't like magical, maybe mystical was the word they used. It was something like that, but it wasn't like magical or elvish type things. And I looked and I was like, holy shit, I think this is I was like comparing it and I was like, this is exactly what it is. And also I knew that it was the text that was the big part of it, and likely it once I started using it and kind of putting things together, since he said that even if you know the answer, like you need to show work, I figured that like, okay, like likely that spells out synchronic, but like you have to know how it's spelled out. because that was kind of a big hint part of it, at least to me. Once I but basically went down an even more so rabbit hole of figuring out there was this thing called Enochian, which I had never even heard of, which I feel like I don't know anyone that's ever heard of it until I just now. And it's this crazy language, and I started reading about it and going down that rabbit hole, but I was like, wait, is this even the right thing? And so I had the translations up that are roughly translated, since basically it's a language that only one person heard. It was the language Adam and Eve, it was spoken to by God to Adam and Eve, all by angels and just things like that, where no one's actually really heard it or used it except for in these texts of vehicle type things where there's really no translations even, but the few things they've been able to do, and they had the lettering out, and some of them even it'll be C or K, they weren't sure, and so started writing it out and was here we go, it spelled synchronic right there. I was it's Enochian, but it was a whole very long thing.
How long did this take? Yeah.
I don't know. Whenever I posted it to whenever I sent him a message. So
Yeah.
I have no idea. But it was just I was about to leave to go out somewhere, and I was oh shit, puzzles. And and I had actually really but annoyed these people about getting on this guest list to go to this because it basically in New York, since before venues reopened and stuff, everyone was doing house party shows, and you'd have to know someone, be on a guest list thing, have to show your Vax card, and it'd be only 30 people. And I had really annoyed these people about going to this house party show who I did not even know them. I knew one person playing, I realized finally, and missed all of that because I was doing this. And that was the whole thing, is I got up late and they were oh my gosh, yeah, you're so late, you missed all of the bands. And I was yeah, and they were what were you doing? I was I had something come up. It was really important. Sorry, the ice cream man, I'm sure you can hear behind me because my headphones pick up everything.
Yeah,
it's so loud. It's so, yeah.
Is he parked there?
No, it's just well, no, they do that. I swear to God, they just do that wherever I live, and it's horrific. And because it's illegal for them to actually be parked and play the song, but they still do it. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. But anyways,
yeah. A real ice cream problem.
Well, there was an actual problem of the ice cream people weren't selling ice cream out of the ice cream trucks at one a couple of summer, but and that's why it's a kind of a joke, but not of oh, okay, is that actual ice cream, or are there kids lining up, or who's at the ice cream truck? But yeah, no, I mean, it wasn't the simplest thing, but it was just interesting because it's yeah, using a Google image search, you would it could go either way of oh, but usually I've learned, because I've had to look up random things where I know what something looks like kind of, and I have but I can't even describing it via Google image search typing, but putting in an image of something actually just helps find similar things that lead me to something. And that honestly, it was the biggest help ever, even though it didn't directly just show me an answer. It wasn't just here you go, that's what this is. But still, but this website was absolutely amazing. I need to find it just because it was so interesting. But then went down the whole Enochian rabbit hole, which sounds like a type of pasta. I'm not, because I keep thinking of gnocchi when I say that every time. That's the other thing. But it's so intriguing though. And then ended up, because what's the guy's name that they did a show about on I think one of those streaming shit, what is, not NBC, yeah, that show. What was that show called?
I don't know the show. I don't know a show that they did about it.
Oh, they yeah, they did it's called something dark and gothy sounding, but it was on one of those main networks, streaming platforms that they created. The one with Star Trek and stuff on it, whichever one that is.
Is it, Dylan? There's a point of with it being 2:30 your time. What time is it your time?
Yeah, it's 2:30. I think we could technically go another hour and a half if we wanted to. So I mean, we don't have to wrap it up necessarily. I think somebody said 2 p.m. PST is when the next show is. But I think for the sake of everyone's regular life, we probably ought to let this one wrap at some point.
It was Eric. It was Enochian, not Yeah, I can't say that word even. I'm like Enochian.
Enochian is what he's talking about. Yeah, it's not. It's called Enochian from Enoch, is the seventh person from Adam that was born, that was taken into heaven. So Enochian.
Yeah, and they like heard it from the angels. It like transcribed it, or like one of them did, and then there was like the helper, and like it's just like a whole insane story. And like I wanted to read so much more about it, but I was like, I really, really need to leave. Okay, I did it, but now like I need to calm down here and you know head up. But also it was just awesome because like I had heard like Andy like on here whenever he was like talking about like his whole like releasing everything. And I was like, and I remember us being like, this is so cool. I'm so happy you're doing this. And I'm so happy there's like a platform that like supports, stuff like this to be able to put it out. Like, and it was awesome. So it was so awesome actually to be able to actually like, be the person to solve it, but also like at this before then even be like, oh my God, this is such a
and
cool
what is your
project you're
reward going to
doing.
be? You're being rewarded for having been the first person to solve it, aren't you?
Andy would be the one to answer.
No, she's getting a one-on-one NFT of the actual puzzle that she did. We'll be doing a variation of one of 100 that actually says synchronistic on the top as far as the name of the book. And we're still doing a little bit of that giveaway for the people that read the first 20 pages of the book that you can find on the WIP publishing website under the title of the book.
I only got to page 5 before I had to go and do things. I haven't read the rest of them yet. I'm super thank you for reminding me that.
Yeah, I went ahead and thrown a link in the chat to https://webpublishing.com/synchronistic, which is where all you lovely people can find that text.
Yeah, and just to let the people know, just the one thing she was also talking about is John D was a person. His name is spelled D.
There was someone Kelly too involved. That was like the helper.
Thomas Kelly, but actually John D.
Andy, I think we lost you again.
Okay, I thought it was my phone. I just started doing the "Can you hear me now" motion.
I went ahead and threw in an invite to the server, to the WIP publishing server as well, where we now have a synchronistic channel. And Andy's going to be doing a little bit of content there as well.
I'm curious about this picture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, such a
so
cool
the only
picture.
last thing I wanted to let y'all know, can you hear that?
Yeah.
Yep, you're back, buddy. Speak away.
Okay, so John D, who is this?
And he's out again.
He
saying John
was
D.
the actual first. He's the first 007.
Oh wow,
look it up in
I just saw you post that.
He was the Yeah, so anyway, that's the last little part of that story is the James Bond series in 007 was after John D. That's how he signed his name to Queen Elizabeth.
Interesting. I didn't hear that.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has been an extraordinary show. It's been
and Dylan, I'll send you the link once I find it.
Oh yeah, by all means, and post it in the WIP Discord as well. Whippy, everybody. Happy Wednesday. You never know what's gonna happen next. You never know about the audio problems. Thank you for joining us here in Token Smart. And I want to go ahead and send another methodical shout out to Rizzle and Snacks and Andy and Lindsay and Jimmy and Robbie and Eric and everyone in the audience who made all this happen, especially Easy. I hope he has an awesome time in Miami, and I hope all the people in the audience right now listening from that pretty city have a lovely time at Bitcoin 2021. I don't know. I think it starts later today or maybe tomorrow. But I don't know. I'm not
want to hear the fun stories from there. I want to.
No doubt.
Like, I want to hear about the Maxis yelling at everyone.
Yeah, I think Snacks is going to be live streaming from there later on.
Like,
maybe
walking around, literally just overhearing conversations would be the most entertaining thing, probably, of a lot of that.
Oh,
or people
no doubt.
talking about some projects that are like absolutely absurdly like just ridiculous, and they're like dead serious on it, but in person hearing them say it, not typing it. That's actually the better part of all of it, just because usually you have to read it, but hearing them say it.
Well, Jim, would you like to close us out and send us off for another lovely whippy week? Oh, we also have one more announcement. Everybody, listen to this before you go. We're going to be changing the name of this channel. Maybe next week, maybe the week after. It's not going to be Libernet anymore. It's going to be Whip Publishing, the channel name here in the Token Smart Discord.
What about
So
YouTube?
that's important. We'll still be there. Oh my
Oh,
God,
here's the
Sandy already changed it.
I
Thank
didn't
you,
know that.
Sandy. That's amazing. You're so fast.
Oh, wow. That was fast.
That took no time at all.
And we've got Devo.
Yeah, I'm loving the Devo too. It's so funny. We always just talk over Jim, whatever he's saying.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm not
I
trying
was
to be a
telling
dick,
Andy how much I
but I'll
love
learn
Jim,
one day.
too.
All right. Close this out. We have someone extraordinarily interesting planned for next week. We have a psychic, ladies and gentlemen. She goes by the name of Highest Priestess. Yeah, and she's got a husband, and they're working on, get this, a blockchain for psychics. So it's really interesting to see all the different DAOs coming up. I think we're gonna have to probably start a Discord channel for the HR DAO.
Dude, I think that there should be, because like that would be really entertaining just to see, like, every once in a while people pop in there and like have like once, like, you know, just set up a time and then some people could just go at it. It'd be like the Cypher thing, but the HR thing.
Yeah, I think we'll probably throw that in like the Whippy Discord and try to do something like maybe tomorrow or
Be
the
like,
next
what
day.
in the world are you guys talking about?
It's so much fun because it's so weird.
But no, thank you guys. You guys are great. Thanks for dealing with my technical problems. Oh, I was just on there.
Oh, lovely.
You need an improv troupe.
All right.
Thanks, guys.